Welcome to the QIO NCC Poll Summary Story. My name is Mark Hawkins with Financial Transformations Incorporated. I'm here today with my associate, Paul Scanlon. Say hi, Paul.
Hello, everybody.
We are part of the PSPC Performance Information Center. Our job is to develop the national performance story and to provide support to the PSPC effort. Part of our support is providing rapid polling and analysis on various topics. Today we want to share with you a very exciting story that was developed based on the responses to the first QIO NCC poll. This presentation is in response to a request made during our first call for more video and audio presentations. This effort is part of a larger PSPC initiative to make presentations more powerful, permanent, and accessible. We hope you find that today's presentation meets those objectives and proves to be a knowledge asset to your organization. Our story today is told in 5 chapters. The first chapter reviews estimates made by QIOs on the urgent need for integrated CPS. We'll see why those estimates are needed and how we can use them. The second chapter tells us how we are progressing towards meeting our recruitment goals, while the third chapter drills down into specific statewide strategy and surfaces several ways of recruiting new teams. The fourth chapter provides a self-assessment of the QIO's ability to perform 2 key tasks from the 10th Statement of Work, and we conclude in the 5th chapter with a quick examination of where QIOs are on the commitment to the PSPC aim. QIOs estimate the need for integrated CPS to be between 30 and 40% of the total Medicare population. This is the second time we asked for their best estimate. As you can see by the chart, the first time we asked for the estimate, the average was 39%, ranging from 9 to 95%. The second time we asked for the estimate, the average dropped to 32% and the range was 11 to 75%. We expect that over time, QIOs will become better at making these estimates and we'll see less variation. Because the estimation of need is so critical to creating an integrated delivery system, we asked the QIOs to indicate whether or not they had access to a methodology that enabled them to identify high-risk Medicare patient populations in their state. We had 6 who said that they had the capacity to project, and 22 who said they did not. When we looked at the estimates of the urgent need for the 2 groups, we saw that the 6 who indicated they had the capacity had a slightly lower estimate and a much tighter range of values. The 22 who indicated they did not have the capacity to project had a much higher degree of variation in their responses. We would expect the line for the 22 to begin looking like the line for the 6 over time. Now that we have an idea of what % of the Medicare population needs integrated CPS, we can begin estimating how many teams we need to create to cover all Medicare patients. QIOs were asked to share the total number of patients in the population of service for their current teams. As you can see by the chart, teams have access to over 100,000 Medicare patients. With 70 teams reporting, we can estimate that each team has an average Medicare population of service of 1,800 patients. However, if we take out California, we can see that this average drops to about 500 patients per team. We'll see the importance of this in our next slide. QIOs have estimated that 32% of the Medicare population is high risk and requires integrated CPS. We can now begin estimating the national need in terms of population. If we assume that there are roughly 47.6 million Medicare beneficiaries, at 32% we would project that 15.2 million people could benefit from integrated CPS. With this knowledge, we can now estimate that if each team has 1,800 Medicare beneficiaries in its population of service, we would need about 26,500 teams nationally to provide the service. This would imply around 490 teams per state. If we use the non-California numbers, the total number of teams rises to over 95,000. So this prompts us to ask a question. If we need 490 teams per state, are we using the right partnership models to spread PSPC? We'll explore the answer to this question over this and future calls. Having established the size and the scale of the urgent need for integrated CPS, we can now begin tracking our progress towards our goals. The 10th statement of work indicates that we need an average of around 5 teams per state. We currently have an average around 2.5 teams per state through February, and those QIOs who responded indicate they would have around 7 teams per state by the end of 2014. So it appears we are well on our way to hitting our targets. Now I'm going to turn the conversation over to Paul to review chapters 3 through 5 of our story.
Thanks, Mark. I don't think I'm alone in saying that there's a lot of powerful data in chapters 1 and 2. Just to recap, Mark walked us through 3 key numbers. 32% of the Medicare population is in need of CPS, or 15.2 million people nationwide. To cover this population, we need 26,500 teams. And finally, we currently have 103 teams providing service. I'm now going to walk you through chapters 3 through 5, which cover several very exciting questions related to states in action. More specifically, using a statewide strategy, assessing QIO capabilities, progress on commitments to the PSPC aim. For Chapter 3, we wanted to gain an understanding of how many QIOs are currently using statewide strategies for enrolling Medicare providers. The insights from the results are very powerful. Not only are 18 organizations currently using a statewide strategy in enrollment of Medicare providers, but all are willing to share their strategies with others. We have 18 possible benchmarks. Even though 11, or 40%, currently don't have a statewide strategy, all organizations are interested in learning from other QIOs. We see this as a great opportunity for knowledge sharing. In the second part of Chapter 3, we asked QIOs if they had any success in enrolling new provider partners since the January learning session. 14 QIOs, or 48%, said they have been able to enroll provider partners, while 15, or 52%, said that they have not been able to enroll. We asked the 14 QIOs that were successful in enrolling provider partners to share their experiences. The success stories related to enrolling provider partners can be grouped into 4 categories: educating to enroll providers, using existing QIO relationships, linking with existing PSPC teams, and finally, aligning with goals of other organizations. In Chapter 4, we ask QIOs, does your organization have the capability to perform the following 2 tasks: intervention strategies and technical assistance? Just like in Chapter 3, the results are very exciting. 17 QIO organizations, or 63%, so that they have the capability and resources to perform those 2 tasks. While there are 10 QIOs, or 37%, who don't have the capabilities or resources, they are all interested in hearing from other QIOs. Just like with Chapter 3, we see this as a great knowledge sharing opportunity. Finally, in Chapter 5, we wanted to gain an understanding of the QIO's commitment to the PSPC aim. To do this, we asked the QIOs to select the statement that best describes their current position on the PSPC Medicare aim. 22 of the 28 QIOs who responded, or 80%, stated that they are committed to the PSPC aim. That's an awesome percentage. We'll be working with the 6 others who stated that they are unsure or not committed to this aim. In the second part of Chapter 5, we wanted to get the QIOs to share their level of commitment related to participating in this poll and upcoming calls. A whopping 97% responded that they are ready to participate in future exercises and are willing to share their experiences with the group. It's our intent to get 100% of the people responding and sharing insights with the group. Both Mark and I want to thank you for listening to our insights on your responses. We greatly look forward to hearing your insights on your responses. We also hope this has been a beneficial format for sharing these results. Thank you.